Has been 4 months since an immigration raid at a meatpacking plant in Granger County, and now we are learning the plant's owner has admitted to several federal charges. James Brantley owns Southeastern Provision in Bean Station. He admitted this week in a plea agreement to failure to collect taxes, employing undocumented aliens, and wire fraud. That agreement filed yesterday says Brantley avoided paying $1.3 million in taxes because he hired at least 150 undocumented workers. WBIR 10 News reporter Stephanie Haynes explains how Brantley was able to do this for almost 30 years.
Since federal agents raided his company 4 months ago, we've wondered whether James Brantley would face charges. Now we know. According to a plea agreement filed Thursday, Brantley started hiring undocumented workers in 1988. One of his managers is also undocumented. And since 2008, Brantley hired at least 150 undocumented workers, paying them between $8 and $10 an hour, all in cash, from weekly trips to a local bank where Brantley would take out $100,000 a trip. This, the agreement states, because doing so reduced Southeastern Provision expenses, including its taxes and premiums. The agreement states Brantley knew he had 104 employees, but only reported 44, thus cheating the IRS out of nearly $1.3 million in taxes. Knoxville attorney Dennis Francis says this could be why it took months to hear about the legal status of the owner.
I'm looking at it as a lawyer and a taxpayer. How do you get by with this for 30 years? Okay. Nobody says a word.
During the April 5th ICE raid, agents found close to 100 workers at the plant with questionable immigration status. A few dozen of them were taken to a regional ICE detention center in Louisiana. According to the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition, as of today, 11 have signed voluntary departures and 6 are still in ICE custody. Another 10 were federally charged, and at last check, 8 of them pleaded guilty. Stephanie Haynes, 10 News.
A sentencing date has not yet been set. Brantley could face up to 30 years in prison. Now, we reached out to Brantley's attorney, but we have not heard back.